All right, it's time to talk about this again. So this is the result of 2 weeks of playing with neural network AI. What I've done is I've trained the villagers to run around lighting torches around town, which is what's causing the streets to light up. Um, a wave of villagers lasts about last just shy of 60 seconds. It's close enough to 60 seconds that it might as well be. Same with the zombies. They have 60 seconds to figure out what to do, and then their experience is shuffled back into the system, and they start over. So let's. It should be pretty soon here that we see all the lights turn off, and the bobs have to run around, turning them back on again. I have the way. Okay, they're going to last for about 10 more seconds. But the AI is definitely improving. It's improving quite a lot, and I'm pretty proud of where it's ended up so far. I gave all of the villagers a torch, and I gave the zombies a little bit of a red glow so that from a zoomed out perspective like this, I can really tell what's going on. And I've been training for the last week or so the villagers and the zombies to die on touching a building. So I've turned that off very recently, and the impact of that is that the entire city just lights up over the course of the 60 seconds that they have to figure their stuff out. Now there are several different locations in this city for the villagers and the zombies to kind of duke it out and see what's going on. Some of them are more friendly to the zombies, some of them are more friendly to the villagers. I'll go over them just a little bit here. On the left-hand side, we have the battlefield. Now, there's only a few places here that the villagers spawn. You see these kind of whitish blue lights? That's a villager spawn. And there's 3 or 4 different locations out here where they can kind of show up. There are torches all the way throughout here, but there are more zombies that spawn here than villagers, so it's very hostile, and villagers that spawn over here tend to die fairly quickly. I have not seen any of the lights up in this little corner section by the gate light up. That just doesn't happen. The city itself, kind of the town, there are a ton of villager spawns. So what I did is I put a spawn for a villager out in front of every house. So there's like 43 spawns right now. And there's not a lot of spawns for the zombies here. So the villagers actually got really good at lighting up this town, even with building collisions turned on, which means that they got fairly decent at not touching houses, because they would die. It was fairly frequent that of the 100 villagers that I spawned per generation, that only less than 10 of them would survive. And as I'm looking at the numbers here, I'll take a look at them. We're at 95 right now. So most villagers died simply because touching buildings. It's not the zombies' fault. The zombies will take maybe 10 to 20 villagers per round. So what I'm hoping is that by turning off the building collision death, the zombies will actually get better at hunting. The zombies themselves do some really cool things. I've noticed that there are several locations where zombie herds or hordes tend to form, like this right here. This is great. I will see zombie hordes just fan out and take over, especially this section down here in the farmlands. There's usually a zombie horde that comes over here. I think it may have changed, because it would spawn right here where this sort of crucified zombie is, and then the entire horde would just go over that way, over that field. It's really cool to see how the AI builds naturally some sort of horde dynamics. And for some reason they get caught on this bridge. I think it's because they can't actually go underneath it. The bridge is just a little too short, and they want to go that way. because there's a very natural channel here for them to flow into. That's something to put on the list of things to fix, but I'm not super worried about it now. I'm really happy with the way the whole lighting situation turned out. Giving the villagers a torch and giving the zombies kind of this red glow. It changes the feel of the game from just quite a lot in a very good way from the just well lit and kind of happy-go-lucky place that the place seemed like before. You know, despite the fact that there is a horde of zombies out and about doing their thing. So this down here, this entire row tends to get lit up by the bobs quite a lot. The bobs, they're not very smart. You know, they don't frequently just go run down the center and grab a bunch of lights. So much as sometimes they miss, or they'll go in circles, or they just lose track of the path. The bobs themselves have absolutely no concept of what a path is. All they can see is that there is something here that flashes green in their brain. And a lot of them have made the connection that when it flashes green like that, if you touch it, you get points. And the bobs are doing very, very well. So the bobs on this generation, best generation 2, because I just started this session, their best longevity is 3,313 points, and they get 250 points per torch that they per light that they touch. I'm gonna have to fix those stairs, add that to the list of things. But 250 points, which means that they're getting, well, 10 would be 2,500 plus 200 plus 500, so 12. They also get points just for moving still, which is up to 500. So it could be 12 or 13. They also lose points for touching things that aren't torches. So lots of things going on. But they definitely make their way around the city, and they light this place up. Let's go back up to the scene here. See, every 60 seconds, the entire city is going to start glowing. Back to what kind of locations there are, though. There's the town, right? Lots of people, kind of few zombies, but the zombies that are here, since they don't die from touching buildings, all they have to really do is stand in the roadway, and they're going to catch a lot of bobs. Just kind of as the bobs are going around trying to light the city up. So, in a lot of ways, it's easy to be a zombie, right? They can be a little passive about their interactions. Now, notice up here we saw this bob just yeet itself off a cliff. I have like 3 houses here that spawn bobs, and there's no zombies up here. But bobs aren't capable of seeing a cliff. If we take a look at their gizmos here, these rays, they only shoot forward. They don't have any way of telling whether there's ground in front of them or not, so they're going to yeet themselves. I have plans in the works for how to fix that. It's gonna require making a more complex. It's gonna require making a matrix of rays that all feed into the inputs, which I'm gonna have to average those out because we're already up to 26 inputs just with the rays and the type detectors. So the Bob brain, it's a bit encumbered by data. If I were to take, for instance, these 13 rays and split them into 3 groups, left, front, and center, and then bring those rays into a single input that is just the averaged distance of that they run into, my hypothesis is that the neural net will be more responsive to change that way, because it's not going to have so many inputs that it has to analyze. But you know, I could be wrong, and I did try writing it the other day, and I ended up deleting all of that code before work on account of I couldn't get it to work in a satisfactory fashion before I had to leave, and I don't like leaving unfinished patchy code when I go somewhere. So I will I have been known to delete hours of work if it's just not working out properly, right? And even if I do come back to it, I still have the experience of what I went through before, so it's not really wasted time. I still have the puzzle in my brain, even if I don't have the pieces. So I'm going to turn the gizmos off and just take a second to sort of appreciate what this has actually turned into. So again, all of these like kind of dark blood red lights are zombies. And where there are zombies, you're not going to see a lot of bobs, because the zombies absolutely do eat the bobs. They don't have to be smart when they're traveling in hordes, you know? You just, there they go, all touching that bridge. So this is really, really just how I fix the bridge right here. I can just click on it and raise it. That's not the right thing. And see, now all the zombies can go into the bridge. They can see that there's a path. They can't see that they can't actually go, that they can't fit, right? So I raise the bridge. It works out. The zombies are happy. I'm happy. The bobs never have a problem with this. The bobs never try to... The bobs wouldn't have a chance. There's a blob of zombies waiting at the bridge. If the bobs tried to do that, they'd get eaten immediately. So, did you do it? Did you go in the... Okay. So I put some torches down in the middle of this thing here, hoping that some of the bobs would go through, and I still have yet, in 2 weeks, seen a single bob travel down this bridge. It's fine. It's fine. But it looks pretty cool when you're zoomed out, but when I actually jump into the scene and look at it from up close, I just see these things dragging their faces against the walls, and it hurts my soul just a little bit, you know. But I know that it is a naive network. It is young. It is not figured out, and you know it's got bugs. Like I'm not a perfect coder, and I really don't have any idea what I'm doing. So I'm figuring it out, you know. And it's improving. It's improving in a very, very real way, and I am really enjoying kind of just like the dark feel to it, giving everything lights has, I think, really brought the scene to life in a way that simply adding models would never do. You guys are so dumb. I think over the next week, I'm going to start putting in player abilities. So the ability for the player to actually impact the world. I'll give myself a sword so I can kill zombies, and you know, if I care, and through that same token, I'll also be able to kill bobs. Just as a way to interact, because right now all I can do is walk around, jump, and explore. It's not a fulfilling experience playing the game. I enjoy writing it and making things happen, but it's not a game right now, right? This is just a simulator, and it's a very early phase simulator. But I'm proud of it. I'm happy with where it's at right now, and I'm going to keep working on it. And I look forward to seeing what it becomes. In the meantime, I hope you all have a great day. Bye-bye.